was a crisp autumn evening when Sarah and her brother Ethan received a letter they never expected. It was an invitation to Blackwood Manor, a secluded estate deep in the woods, once owned by their great-grandfather. The family had long distanced itself from the manor due to the rumors of strange happenings and unexplained disappearances. The letter, however, seemed to call them back, promising to reveal secrets long buried. Ethan, the more adventurous of the two, was eager to go. Sarah was reluctant, having heard stories of Blackwood Manor's dark history, the house that never seemed to let go of its past. But they had inherited the place. The legal documents were clear. They had to visit, or else they would lose their inheritance forever. When they arrived, the manor stood before them, as imposing as ever. The windows were dark, the ivy clinging to the stone walls like fingers trying to hold it in place. The air around the house felt unnaturally still, as if the land itself was holding its breath. As they stepped inside, the door creaked and slammed shut behind them. The dust in the air danced in the dim light, and a heavy silence enveloped them. Ethan pulled out his flashlight, scanning the grand hall. The furniture was covered in thick sheets, and old portraits lined the walls, their eyes seeming to follow their every move. The place was a time capsule, frozen in the past. Sarah hesitated. This feels wrong. Something's not right. But Ethan pushed ahead. It's just an old house, Sarah. We need to explore. They made their way through the labyrinthine corridors, the floorboards groaning under their feet, as if the house itself was awake, watching them. It wasn't long before they found a hidden door behind a faded tapestry. Sarah tried to stop him, but Ethan was already inside. The room was narrow, with walls lined with old books and strange artifacts. In the center stood a dusty mirror, its frame intricately curved with symbols they couldn't recognize. Ethan's curiosity got the better of him, and he walked toward it, peering into the glass. For a moment, his reflection seemed normal, but then something shifted. The shadows around him deepened, and his own reflection began to smile, its eyes glowing faintly red. "Ethan, what's wrong?" Sarah's voice trembled. Ethan stepped back in confusion, but the reflection didn't. It stepped forward, mimicking his every movement, but with a sinister twist. It seemed to grow more monstrous with every passing second, until Ethan could no longer recognize himself. The figure in the mirror grinned wider, its eyes gleaming with malice. "Ethan, get away from it!" Sarah screamed, but it was too late. Ethan reached for the mirror, and the moment his fingers touched the cold surface, it shattered. Its shards flowed through the room, but when the dust settled, Ethan was gone. Not a trace. He had disappeared, as if the mirror had swallowed him whole. Sarah screamed in horror, searching every corner of the room, but Ethan was nowhere to be found. She backed away, but the house was changing around her. The walls seemed to breathe. The portraits on the walls now stared at her, their faces twisted in terror. Frightened, she bolted from the room, but the manor seemed to stretch on endlessly, hallways twisted and turned in impossible ways. Rooms appeared and vanished like mirages. The whispers started then, soft at first, like a distant hum, but growing louder with each step she took. Voices, familiar voices, whispering her name, calling her closer. The air grew colder, and Sarah's breeze turned to mist. "Ethan, where are you?" she cried, her voice echoing down the dark, narrow hallways. The whispers became clearer. "He's not coming back," a voice hissed from behind her. She spun around, but there was nothing there. only the creeping shadows. But when she looked into the next room, she froze. There, standing in the doorway, was Ethan, or what was left of him. His eyes were blackened, his skin pale and strange, his mouth open, but instead of words, a horrible, echoing scream came from deep within him. A scream not his own. In that moment, Sarah realized the truth. Blackwood Manor was not just a house, it was alive. It fed on the souls of the lost, trapping them in endless cycles of torment. The whispers weren't just memories. They were the voices of those who had come before, now consumed and forced to repeat their final moments for eternity. Terrified, Sarah ran, her heart pounding in her chest. She didn't know where she was going, but the house seemed determined to keep her. The walls closed in on her, the shadows longing at her from all directions. In her frantic flight, she stumbled across an old journal, a diary belonging to her great-grandfather. With trembling hands, she opened it. The pages were filled with strange symbols, but a final entry sent a chill down her spine. Do not look into the mirror. It is the doorway. Once you see, you can never leave. Sarah knew then that her great-grandfather had tried to escape, but the manor had claimed him too. She was just another victim in a long line of lost souls. But she couldn't give up. She had to fight. She had to survive. But no matter how fast she ran, no matter how hard she screamed, the house was always right behind her. The whispers grew louder and Ethan's shadow was never far off. The last thing she saw before everything went dark was a glimpse of herself in the reflection of another broken mirror. Her own eyes, now glowing red. And the whispers, they never stopped.